About to light a cigarette. Click dead lighter. Seriously annoying. Drive 100 kilometers just to buy one tiny lighter? No way. That's when the idea hit me. Build my own instead. I'll start by cutting off the bottom of the lighter. Looks simple, but this is the very first step of the whole crazy idea. Wrap this tissue around the lighter, then clamp it in the vise. Because the last thing I want is this flimsy plastic cracking right from the start. Cutting off the lighter's bottom with a handsaw is the only option I've got right now. Once it's cut open, you can see the inside is completely hollow. Funny how something that used to hold fire is now just empty, like it's got nothing left to give. And what I figured is, if this lighter is ever going to last longer, its fuel chamber needs an upgrade. The most reasonable way? Attach it to a bottle or a jar, so it can hold much more fuel. I'll use this glass jar. Not because it's special, but simply it's the only thing I could find at the moment. The second step, simply place the cut side of the lighter onto the lid, then mark the spot that needs to be cut. When cutting along the marked outline, I prefer using a utility knife because the thin blade is easy to control and it lets me follow the lines without ruining the aluminum lid. A tip when cutting an aluminum lid with a knife: don't press hard from the start. Instead, score lightly along the same line several times. The blade will gradually sink in, giving you a clean cut without bending the lid. So the cut is done, but the back side of the lid is dented inward. Now I just need to tap it flat with a hammer, so it fits tighter and feels sturdier. I'll file down the cut edges to remove all the sharp burrs and make the opening look cleaner. After the filing is done, I'll set it aside. Soon enough, this lid will be used to mount the lighter in. To be honest, the lighter slips through the cut hole a bit too easily. It's a little loose, so I decided to wrap some tape around the bottom of the lighter to make its diameter just a bit larger. After a bit of struggling, I finally managed to set the lighter into its proper place. Now I just need to seal the gap, and the fuel won't leak out anymore. I guess you're already familiar with this baking soda powder. Just pour it into the gap, then add a little glue. Keep repeating the process until the gap is completely sealed. With homemade lighters, the biggest risk is fuel leakage. Just a tiny gap can let gas or ethanol escape, evaporate, and ignite instantly. The result? A fire or even an explosion right in your hand. The danger is that you might not notice it until the spark lights up. Leaking fuel can also stick to your hands, your workbench, or clothes. One stray flame is enough to cause burns. On top of that, inhaling fuel vapors over time can lead to headaches, dizziness, or even poisoning. Unlike commercial lighters that are safety tested, a DIY lighter depends entirely on makeshift work. Perfect sealing is nearly impossible, and one small crack can turn creativity into an accident. That's why extreme caution is a must. Always work in a ventilated space, avoid spilling fuel, and be ready to stop if things look risky. Bold ideas can be fun, but safety is never negotiable. The front side of the lid looks sealed already. Now I'll flip it over to seal the back side as well. Baking soda may sound simple, but it's actually a star ingredient in countless DIY videos online. YouTube creators often use it to deodorize refrigerators, clean burnt pans, or polish up old pieces of metal. Some mix baking soda with vinegar to unclog blocked drains, or use it as a natural whitener for fabric shoes that have lost their brightness. Others even turn it into the main ingredient for the classic erupting volcano experiment. In short, one cheap little box of powder has almost endless uses, and it's definitely worth trying out. I gave it a few shakes, and the lighter stayed firmly fixed to the lid. No wobbling at all. I think that takes care of the lid. Now the only thing left is the most important part, making the fuel. I'll tear these two pieces of aluminum foil into small bits, roll them into little balls, and drop them into the jar. This is the fuel chamber I mentioned earlier. While I'm tearing and rolling up these bits of foil, let me tell you something. Aluminum foil isn't just for wrapping food. It can polish metal, patch up weak batteries, and star in all kinds of clever recycling hacks. Some even use it in fun experiments to create surprising, eye-catching effects, which is pretty interesting. But this time, it won't stop at those usual tricks. Very soon, this foil will meet 90% alcohol to create something unexpected. Definitely worth waiting to see unfold. I'll pour in just enough alcohol, roughly about 70% of the jar's volume. Not too much, to avoid spilling or evaporating too quickly. Now I'll wrap tape tightly around the joint to make sure nothing is loose. This is an important step to keep the fuel and foil stable, preventing any spillage during use. Yesterday, I was scrolling through social media and came across an incredibly moving story about a small village in Malawi, Africa, where hundreds of households still don't have electricity. I read about a 12-year-old girl named Amina, who every evening had to study under the dim light of an oil lamp her mother made. The lamp produced weak light and smoke that made her cough. But Amina persisted, determined to finish her homework before bed. What touched me most was Amina's dream. She wished for a solar-powered lamp so the entire village could study, cook, and live without worrying about smoke or fire hazards. This story reflects not only the infrastructural difficulties they face, but also the determination and thirst for learning among the children in the village. Fortunately, a nonprofit organization installed a small solar panel for each family. For the first time, Amina and her friends could study under clean, steady light, free from smoke and fire risks. The sight of the children smiling brightly, hugging their new lamps, studying and chatting together made me realize the transformative power of something that seems so small, yet is incredibly precious: light. Amina's story is a living testament that light is not just electricity. It represents opportunity, hope, and a belief that dreams can come true, even in the poorest corners of the world. What do you think about Amina's story? Does it make you reflect more on things we often take for granted, like electricity, light, the opportunity to study, and the simple privileges we enjoy every day? I really want to hear your thoughts. And if you've ever experienced or know about similar situations, please share your story. Who knows? A small share can spread empathy and make more people aware of these difficult circumstances. Hey everyone, look at this. I finished wrapping the tape, and it's so tight that not even an ant could escape. Only this way can it be completely secure. Take a moment to admire our finished product. Before lighting it, I'll give the fuel chamber a little shake, just to feel confident, like getting myself ready before taking action. Wow, it's amazing that our project turned out so well. The main reason is we were extremely careful at every step, prepared everything thoroughly, and didn't skip any detail. From choosing materials, handling each step, wrapping tape, to shaking the fuel chamber, everything was done meticulously. A small mistake could have completely changed the outcome. This shows that patience and attention to detail often decide success more than skills or modern tools. Looking at the final product, you can see the result of careful preparation, ensuring both safety and effectiveness. Every step had a reason, not done on impulse, helping us feel more confident before testing. This is an important lesson. Understanding each step increases success and reduces risk. If you find it interesting, hit like to support and subscribe so you won't miss new creative and humorous videos coming soon. Leave a comment to share your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think about the final product.